Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for the week of... No, this is for mid-October. Just kidding. We are going to jump right in here, Taurus, and we are going to do something a little different. You'll see. I'm going to be using the Oracle of the Radiant Sun here for the Oracle cards. We're going to do past, present, in between, the present and the future, and then we're going to do the future in this last row here. I'm going to be using... all these decks, like a bunch of them. So this is an experimental reading, as always, but I'm going to be using the Before Tarot for the past. We are going to be using the just regular Radiant Rider Waite here for the present energies that you could be dealing with here in this row. And then we are going to use the In-Between Tarot, which kind of represents in-between energies. There are two cards on each card, and I'll explain that to you when we get to this row, but kind of represents the in-between energies of two different cards. In the last row, for the future, we are going to use the After Tarot in this row here. If you like this, definitely let me know. I'm thinking about doing big giant versions of this, basically, for the 2023 readings, kind of doing like past, present, in-between, and future. In your first position here, you have this Charity card and the Enterprise card. This is coming up in the past position. I feel like a lot of you have either been planning a business or you've been planning on working on something that could make you money. It's kind of funny because you don't have any Pentacle cards here, but I get, I get this energy of wanting to make money, even though that there are no Pentacle cards here. I'm going to clarify the whole thing with the regular tarot anyway, and I'm sure that some Pentacle cards will come up, but I kind of feel that some of you have been like disappointed in the way things have worked out, especially if you've been like working for yourself or, trying to work for yourself or trying to do your own thing. The Enterprise card is really good. The Charity card, for whatever reason, and take this as it resonates, I feel like the Charity card is saying that you shouldn't be trying to think that something should be, cheap, for example, like if you're making a product or if you're selling something. I feel like the universe doesn't want you to go cheap or to make it like affordable, right? And I'm not saying that it shouldn't be affordable, but what I am saying is, Uranus and Taurus. Uranus and Taurus has a major, major focus on quality. And here's the thing with quality. Things that are quality cost money. And the thing about that is usually things that cost money that are quality last for a really long time. So I feel like you need to put that energy of quality out into the universe, especially for those of you in work or business. And that's like what the universe wants. That's what I feel here. You have the Five of Wands, the Seven of Swords, and the Ace of Swords. It's kind of funny. I like this Ace of Swords on the Before Tarot. It's kind of like you've been trying to pull, a sword from the stone with this energy. And I kind of feel that there's an element of destiny here with this Ace of Swords. Like you are meant to pull a sword from the stone, just like, King Arthur or whatever, right? And I kind of feel like something is meant to be a victory, but you have the Seven of Swords here. On the traditional Seven of Swords, this guy is stealing 7 swords, obviously, from an army that is normally in the background of this card. It's actually right there by my finger, but I feel, really, it can be a card of lying, cheating, stealing, but just really, I would say this doesn't really have to do with love, this reading. There is some love actually showing up here, which is nice. It could be very fulfilling as well. It's kind of funny because it just feels like a thing that just kind of happens. So if you're looking for love, this to me looks like one of those situations where it just kind of, it's so weird because intuitively I feel like there's no conversation. Meaning, I feel like you talk a lot with this person, but there's no conversation about it becoming something. So it's kind of one of those things that I see going on here. I don't know, I like it. We'll dig into that, but again, I feel like this is more talking about your personal tactics, the things that you do every single day. He is, again, being tactical. He is planning on the Before Tarot. He's planning to steal these swords. It's like he gets the first idea that he needs to take these swords so that they can't be used against him in battle the next day. You even have the Five Wands. Five Wands, again, this card to me is actually a good card. I know a lot of people read it as conflict and competition, and it absolutely represents conflict and competition, but to me, the people on the card, they are training. They're learning how to fight. They're not just fighting just to fight, and they're using sticks. They're not using swords. So I feel for a lot of you that you've been through some challenges, but again, it's like you need to look at these challenges and say, where's the gold, right? I've been saying this all year. I feel that the universe is like saying to everyone, there's a lot of, gold that you could discover in life through, maybe past negative experiences that you had, but you have to look at those experiences and say, like, what did I learn and how can I get a reward from this, right? With the Five of Wands, you have the Seven of Cups here. Too much confusion. I feel like you need to go straight for something. I always get this message for you, Taurus. It's like sometimes, especially in work or business, sometimes I think we say to ourselves like, oh, everyone else who does this business, it takes them 10 years, so it has to take me 10 years. Or everyone who does this has to spend this much money to get it started for it to work and all this other stuff. But it's like there are always outliers, right? There are always people who break the rules and are successful in other ways, right? Or there are always people who become very successful very quickly, and who knows why, right? And I kind of feel like this is saying, don't put like artificial constraints on something. I always think of like Ali's Tarot, right? From YouTube, great example. Like she came out of nowhere, right? And grew very, very quickly. Not a criticism, by the way, totally deserves it. Hard worker, right? And so, that's what I mean. It's like that's someone who just like kind of comes out of nowhere, grows very quickly. I get that feeling for you here. It's like where you could just come out of nowhere all of a sudden, grow very quickly, especially in work or business. And again, I feel like, if she followed the traditional rules, probably maybe it wouldn't have worked for her, right? Kind of does her own thing. And that, I kind of get that feeling here. So that's like the best example I could come up with. Okay, there you go. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Page of Pentacles. A lot of success coming in for you here. And I also feel like there's like good news coming in for you here as well with the Page of Pentacles. So I get news. I feel like you need to be like a little bit more aggressive with the Seven of Swords and this Page of Pentacles, especially for those of you that are like working on something. Again, I kind of feel like that ties into that Seven of Cups where it's like, again, maybe all the things that you could compare yourself to have taken a certain amount of time to be successful, but there is no comparison. It's like you're running your own race, I feel. And this is like a good thing because I feel like things are going to happen differently for you. I just threw it all the way across the room, but that was the King of Wands. So you have the King of Wands with the Ace of Swords. I definitely feel there's like a victory coming in for you. Again, the King of Wands, he represents taking care of something like a baby, like nurturing something into existence. So if you're working on work or business here, which I really get this major work, business, enterprise vibe in this first position, then I would say that I feel like it's something you need to nurture into existence. That enterprise card is Jupiter and Aries. And again, we have Jupiter entering into Aries at the end of the year. So that could be, like the time frame. Once we get to the end of the year, you could really see like a boost in the things that are going on for you. Next, in your current general energies, you have this innovation card. Every single person has been getting, there's like a couple of cards in this Oracle of the Radiant Sun that represent innovation. There's some other ones. I can't remember the names of them, but everybody's been getting like one of them. You have this flirtation card as well. I keep telling people that, again, we're entering into the age of Aquarius. This is Jupiter in Aquarius, the innovation card. And, I really feel like innovation is the name of the game, trying new things, doing things differently. But also, again, realizing that you're on your own path. There's no one to compare yourself to because it's you. You are different. We are all different. We all have a different journey, a different path. So just because things aren't happening how they happen for other people doesn't mean that they're not going to happen for you. You also have this, what is this called? Oh yeah, flirtation. See, it's weird. I feel that there could be love coming in for those of you that want it. You have the Page of Cups, Six of Wands, and the Fool. It's weird that, like, between this card and then you have the Five of Wands to the Six of Wands, you also have the Four of Wands here. I kind of get this feeling of something that just happens. It's so, I can't even describe it. It's almost like you end up in a relationship with this person. Could be a fire sign. You have water here. Could be any sign. You have fire and water definitely stand out to me, but take it as it resonates here, Taurus. And I feel like it's something that just like falls into place. It just happens. There's nothing, there's no like I don't even know if there's a discussion about you being in a relationship with this person, like in the future, just looking at the future here. To me, it seems like one of those things where it's like there is no discussion. It just happens, right? I don't know. Weird. I've never felt that ever. I feel like you could be attracting a person who gets a lot of attention. Again, at the same time, I feel like pretty much everyone could be getting attention right now if they tried, on whatever. It could be in work and business. They could be very successful at work. They could be on YouTube. They could have something else that makes them successful. So, and again, we're entering into the time of Aquarius. So, I feel like pretty much everyone could be getting a lot of attention or could be kind of becoming their own little star in their own right. So definitely could be attracting that. But again, I feel if this is a relationship, this is definitely going to be a victory for you here. And going down here, this card here is in this diagonal, is the Five of Swords to the Six of Swords. It's the in-between energy. I love 2 6s in a row. To me, it says you're on the right path. You're going in the right direction. You're going towards the things that you actually need. Even this way, we go to the Six of Wands right here. So, definitely going in the right direction. You have the Fool. Again, I would encourage you to just jump right into something. And again, I don't really know how to say what I want to say to you, Taurus, if I'm being honest, but it's like, I get this feeling of just needing to just do something, like not needing to, like, don't think about like the rules, the regulations. Obviously, I'm not suggesting you break the law or anything like that, but what I am suggesting is like, maybe there are certain barriers that you've put in your head for like starting a business that just don't exist, or maybe it just doesn't matter. It's like, I've worked in business for a very long time, since I was like younger, and I've just met a lot of people who it's like they kind of just start something. They don't really worry about the rules and regulations. I've even known some people who have worked in like the food industry. Maybe they don't have certain certifications. Obviously, again, I'm not suggesting you break the law, but at the same time, it's like they kind of just did something and took care of it later, and it was never really a big deal, right? Whatever it was, right? And again, not suggesting you do that, but at the same time, are there certain things that you're putting up in your brain that are like preventing you from starting a business or starting a YouTube channel or whatever it is you want to do that just might not exist? With the Page of Cups, you have the Queen of Cups, very kind, caring, nurturing energy. I feel like everyone's made a mistake with this person in the past. I think everyone has mistaken this person's kindness for weakness, but I feel you see it. It's like you see that this person is not a pushover. It's like maybe, I kind of feel like you're attracting a person where maybe all their past people, right, have thought they were a pushover. What's interesting as well, kind of funny that's popping into my head is I feel like this person, maybe you find out that all their exes come crawling back, like every single one, right? And I think it's because it takes people time to realize that this person's just a more, I feel like they're just like a good, different type of person, a good person, a quality person, a nurturing, caring person, but they're caring. And I also feel like they're not really a pushover, but people mistaken them for a pushover. And again, I think you see this right away, right? I think you see that like, oh, they're not a pushover. They're actually a good person. And I don't know. That's what's popping into my head. With the Six of Wands, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Some major successes coming in for you here. It's kind of interesting because I feel like going like this, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I feel there are like literally 4 things that could be happening in your life, and apparently I can't hold on to cards today. But anyway, I would show you, but that's gone now. So on the Wheel of Fortune, it has Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo. It's almost like I see like 4 different things that are happening. I don't know. With the Fool, you have the Devil. So I feel like you just don't want to repeat mistakes, right? Is what this is saying to me. I also feel like something needs to kind of be brought into the real world. I feel like, sometimes that the Devil can represent creation. You could also be attracting a Capricorn or someone with Capricorn in their chart, but these people, they have horns on their head, and it kind of represents our animal instincts, like our baser instincts, right? And sometimes I actually think the Devil is a good thing. Sometimes I think it can represent kind of the root chakra creation energy, where we bring something into creation. We think about creating something, but then we need to bring the energy up to our head, and so that we can bring it into the real world. And I feel like that's what the Fool is talking about. It's like saying something needs to come down to earth, or needs to be brought up, whatever you want to call, whatever you want to call it. But I feel like it's going to be good for you. Next, you have this inheritance card and this revenge card. I do feel some of you could be getting an inheritance, quite literally. And again, you would know. Everybody always leaves me a comment like saying, "Oh, like was I related to the King of England or something, and now I'm going to get their inheritance?" No, is what I would say. If you know that someone has passed away, sorry for your loss, but again, could be getting an inheritance. With the revenge card, I don't know. This card keeps coming up. It's pretty crazy. I don't really feel like you're getting revenge. I'm pretty sure you had this card with me, now that I think about it, in like the mid-September readings, or I did like a bonus for September, I think, and maybe you had it in there. I don't really remember, but I'm pretty sure you have this card, because I remember saying something to you about the fact that you like could chop someone's head off, but you're not going to. It keeps popping into my head. It reminds me of like hawk medicine, the hawk totem meaning, hawk spirit animal meaning, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of like a energy of the fact that like hawks rip snakes' heads off, right? So it's like you could rip someone's head off, but you don't. And so there's something about that. You have the 5 of Wands to the 6 of Wands. It's interesting that you have the 5 of Wands here. And then in the in-between tarot, you have the Five of Wands, the Six of Wands. So clearly, you are going to be victorious over a competition. Again, for those of you that have an enterprise, that have a job, a career, a business, I feel for a lot of you, you're clearly kind of leveling up here with this energy. I would definitely be careful of jealousy as well, is what I would say, because I'm noticing those glowing eyes behind those people. Can you see that? I feel for a lot of you, it's like you're being, you're getting your rewards, and there could be some jealousy. We do have Mars retrograde, and again, I always say that during Mars retrograde, it can bring things up like jealousy, especially in Gemini, where it's going to be until March or something like that, something crazy. So, what I would say here is I would ignore jealousy until April of next year, and gossip. I wouldn't take part in gossip. Definitely, I'd tell people I would avoid saying anything about anyone. Period. Point blank, plain and simple, because it always comes back to bite your butt when Mars is retrograde. Next, you have the Knight of Cups to the Queen of Cups. Again, this is the in-between tarot, so it's in between the two energies. Clearly, there's a knight in shining armor coming in for you. I feel like this person is very kind, caring, nurturing. The other interesting thing is this person is not confused at all about their emotions. I feel they are kind of very direct with how they feel about things. And it's sometimes I've had people say to me just in life in general, feelings change. And, it's well, mine don't. So I feel like that's what's popping into my head here with this person is I feel like if you say to this person, oh, do you still like me? Because feelings change. I feel like they're going to be no, my feelings don't change. I feel like they're just very certain about their emotions, about their feelings, about things, about, the directions they need to go in. And again, this will be obvious is what I would say. Meaning, usually people who are like that are successful, or they say something, they do it, right? So that's what I'm getting here. You have the Five of Swords to the Six of Swords. I feel like you're moving on to calmer shores. I feel like you're moving on to bigger and better things. For some of you, I feel like you're leaving behind past relationships. I'm not saying you're holding on to one here, but, if this is a new person, I feel like it kind of makes you forget about past people just in general. I also feel like there are some major improvements coming in for you that you don't even realize. Because again, I feel like, Taurus, I feel like not calling you out here, but I feel like you're guilty of selling yourself short, which I think is true for everyone right now, just because the energy is so expansive. Maybe we just can't believe that we can expand into such amazing places, but I don't know. Here you go. With the Five of Wands to the Six of Wands, you have the Six of Cups. Definitely kind of a turnaround. This could be a soulmate coming in for you as well if you're looking for love, but Six of Cups to me is a gift from the universe. To me, it represents a period in our life where we could have been experiencing obstacles, which you definitely have. I feel that if you've been working on a project, business, or growing something, there's been a lot of obstacles, but also a lot of learning. So it's you're finally learning how to be successful, and I feel like that's the gift you're going to receive. With the Knight of Cups to the Queen of Cups, could be a Scorpio that's coming in for you. Every single person has had the Tower again. Like I said, I have a big sneaking suspicion that pretty much between now and 2030, pretty much everyone, I think if YouTube still exists and I'm still doing videos then, which I probably will be, I think that the Tower is just going to keep coming up over and over and over again. I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of Tower moments. With the Five of Swords to the Six of Swords, you have the Queen of Swords. Clear. Like I said, this person is very clear, very direct. They see things very clearly. And again, it's interesting. Like I said, it could be a Scorpio. You have air here. Could be an earth sign. Also could be a fire sign as well. You have the King of Wands is over there, but you have the Queen of Wands over here. So I feel like it could be a very strong, desirable connection. And even look at this. You have this drama card and you have this acquisition card, which is the Sun in Taurus. So I feel for a lot of you that you could be acquiring love with a person. Could be a Leo, but could be any sign. And I feel like it's true love. I also feel like you're kind of like a power couple. I always say that in this deck, this card is my power couple card. You can see that they both look fancy. I wouldn't dress like that today, but what I would say is that I feel there's a lot of success coming in for you with you and another person, especially if you're kind of getting together with a person. If not, this could also be a business partner. It could also be you inheriting something. It's kind of interesting because I feel like even that some of you could be inheriting some ideas. Maybe you're not getting an inheritance, but maybe you are inheriting some ideas or you're learning something that's being passed down to you. And it's going to make you very successful. You have the Queen of Wands, Four of Wands, and the Nine of Cups. The Four of Wands is a card of marriage. So if you're looking for love, I feel obviously this could lead to marriage in the future. This is your future position, and I feel like you will be extremely fulfilled. You have the Nine of Cups here. if you're not looking for love, obviously this is a card of freedom. I mean, it would not be a Taurus reading without this card right now because of Uranus and Taurus. Uranus and Taurus is freedom, as far as I'm concerned. That's pretty much the only thing that it really wants. I mean, if we really boil it down, what Uranus and Taurus represents for you, it's freedom, true freedom, gaining freedom, becoming more free. Of course, there are some things that go along with that, but they all pretty much represent freedom. It's like, you could also say that Uranus and Taurus is about kind of innovation, but that's just the freedom to create new ideas. You could be saying it's about kind of having quality material goods in your life because there's a major emphasis on quality with Uranus and Taurus, or having quality experiences. But again, that's just having the freedom to do that. Again, you have the Nine of Cups, which is a wish or wish fulfillment. I feel in the future you are going to be feeling very fulfilled, especially in love if you want it. And finally, you have the Queen of Wands. Again, this is the energy I would be embracing if I were you. Pretty much everyone gets the Queen of Wands. And I say to pretty much everyone that we need to be bold, assertive. We need to march to the beat of our own drum, too, because, this black cat right here in the time of tarot, black cats were considered to be very unlucky. People always tell me how black cats are not unlucky. Okay, great. Your black cat is not unlucky. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is this card, right? And at the time of tarot, black cats were considered unlucky. So, what it means is the fact that she doesn't care what anyone thinks. She just lives her life, and she just has the cat because she likes it. That's it. So, really, I think that's why the Queen of Wands comes up so much. I think it's because, really, as a collective, we need to be brave, we need to be bold, we need to be assertive, and we need to do things that maybe other people don't agree with or can't understand. But it doesn't matter because it's not their life. It's your life. And that's what I feel like this card is saying here, Taurus. So let's see where this is going for you. With the... Apparently, nothing wants to come out with that Queen of Wands. So, with the, there we go. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Knight of Wands. Yeah, really needing to follow your desires. Both cards, Knight of Wands and the Queen of Wands, outside of love, can represent, like, having a desire to do something and really needing to move towards your desire. So, you could desire to move. But maybe people don't agree with it. This says do it anyway. Knight of Wands is about exploring mystery. With the Four of Wands, you cannot make this stuff up. You have the Page of Cups. You are going to marry this person. If you end up in a relationship where it's just like you just start hanging out and then all of a sudden you're making out and then all of a sudden other things are happening that I can't talk about on YouTube. I mean, clearly this could be the person that you marry. With the Page of Cups is what I would say to you. And like I said, I feel like it kind of just happens. There is no conversation, which is very interesting to me. It just kind of like falls into place, right? And I think that's what will stand out to you. I'm also saying this because here's the thing, is I kind of looking around here, I feel like there could be some relationships that are like pulling a sword from a stone, like very difficult, challenging. So some of you could be dealing with like a couple of people, or you could be going on dates. And I feel like you're noticing the difference between like something that's super easy and something that just enters into your life and has a flow to it. And there's like some sort of difference here. Maybe you've been through a bunch of hard relationships, or again, maybe you've met people where it just doesn't go anywhere. This is very different. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Magician. So you attracted this. I feel like you have attracted something like very important in your life. I always pull the card that he is pointing to, and he's pointing to this one right here, the Ace of Wands. Are you kidding? A very spicy connection coming in here for you, so be careful if you're not trying to get pregnant. But I do feel this is a very passionate new beginning coming in for you. I also feel like you're going to be feeling very good in general, so love it. This is an amazing reading, Taurus. So I am going to do like a personalish reading. I'm going to answer one question. I'm going to pull these 3 cards right here. Feel free to pause the reading if you need time to think of your questions, but these are going to be the 3 cards right here. So pause it if you haven't already, if you need to think of your questions. And here we go. You have the Four of Wands, Magician, and the Temperance card. You have manifested this into your life. And I feel like you are noticing that you're manifesting things very, very quickly. Look at this, by the way. It is, if I can get this to focus before it changes, 12-12 right there, Taurus. So I feel like you're manifesting things very, very quickly, and this could be a passionate new beginning. This is like a major freedom focus here, which, like I said, makes perfect sense to me. The Temperance card is kind of like 2 things mixing together. So I kind of feel if you're asking about love, this could be a person who's like different than your usual type as well, but I feel like you mix well together with that Temperance card. Maybe you've noticed that in the past, that relationships are like oil and water, wouldn't mix. This is something that just easily kind of comes together. So Love it for love. I love this reading. You have no pentacle cards except for the Page of Pentacles, which is cracking me up. But I feel for a lot of you, there's like clearly some major increases in your finances. I also feel like, just as like a random side note, kind of like I'm getting like a more channeled message right now that some of you, I feel like you don't see the future potential of something. It's funny, I was talking about Ali's Tarot because it reminds me back in the day when I started my channel, no one had 10,000 subs or more than that in the tarot community at all, period, right? So it's like, I thought back then, I'm like, if I hit 10,000, I made it, right? But look at me now, I have almost 700,000. So this is saying to me that I feel like some of you could be working on something that maybe it seems small right now, but it could be something that becomes very, very popular, very big in the future. And I definitely feel that energy for you here. So I love this. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.